Hi, this is David Tierney, and welcome back to our series of video tutorials showing you how to manage and edit your website, which was built with WordPress and Divi as the Divi theme, and specifically the Divi Builder. And the Divi Builder is a tool that expands the layout possibilities of your WordPress website, allowing you to do more complex layouts, meaning instead of just having one main column of text, such as we have on the this one here, or having if our page just had this section here, one and then a sidebar, that's kind of more of your standard WordPress website capability. But with the Divi Builder, you can, instead of having just one big section here, you can break it up into halves, you can break it up into thirds. You can do that and also have a side column. You can do that and also have a big full width section here where you've got a totally different color, and you can have different stuff in here. So that all of that additional flexibility comes with integrating the Divi theme as another building tool to your website. And so what we're going to do in this tutorial is we're going to take what we learned in our first tutorial, and we're going to expand it out a little bit and show you what it would be like to need to go in to edit a page that has a little bit more of a complex layout than the one that we did in the last tutorial where there was just one text box. So in order to do that, we have to understand a little bit about what it means to have sections, rows, and columns. And so a section is an area of your page which goes from one side all the way over to the other side, and can go all the way up and down your page, or can be just a certain portion of it. And one distinguishing characteristic of using a section, why you might want to use several sections, is that, for example, we've got one section here with a white background, and we've got another section here with a different colored background. It could be any color, but it allows us to be able to break up visually two areas of the page that go from one side all the way to the other side. So it's a big area, and here's another big area, and within the section, excuse me, within the section we can have rows which go from left to right, and columns which go up and down. I know it sounds a little bit complex, but I think you'll get the swing of it. So what we have here on the home page is we have, and you can read this, you can pause your video and read these words. They actually, I typed them all in to help explain it all. So what we have here is we have a section with a white background, and we have one row here, and within this one row we have two columns. We have 50% of the width is on this side, and the other 50% is this picture. And so what we have here is we have what Divi works with. They call them modules, and so we have an image module, which allowed us to just put an image here, and then we had a text module, which allowed us to add some text over here. So fairly descriptive words. It's fairly simple to understand. A lot of the things you'll have on your websites will just simply be text modules where you'll have your words and things like that. But if you want to have just a picture, the nice thing about this is that you can take this page, when you squeeze it down, and you can see the picture, and everything kind of contracts and goes together, and that works really well with with websites that are built these days, because you have people looking at websites on mobile devices and tablets and all sorts of things, and we want to have these columns and these sections to expand and to move around the page appropriately depending on what somebody's looking at. So there is some advantage to that. I'm not sure if that made sense, but anyways, that's what we have. We have and then down here, so this is one row, and then down here we have another row across, and in this row we have three columns. We have this takes up 1/3 of the width, this takes up 1/3 of the width, and this takes up 1/3 of the width. And there's a little sort of space padding on the sides. So really the width starts here and ends here, and within that space, this is 1/3, this is 1/3, and this is 1/3, this is 1/2, and this is 1/2. And so if we go back to the page that we're editing, we can see here's the 1/2 and 1/2, and you can see visually this is half of the space, and here's another half space, and here's the text, and here's the image. Remember, we had text, image, and over here we have text and image. And then underneath that we had 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, and this combines a graphic with some words, and it also could combine pictures in a word, and that is called, within the Divi builder, it's called a blurb. And so if you have a blurb, if you have a combination of those two together in a specific way, then it would be called a blurb. You can actually put pictures and text together, but there's something beneficial to having a specific module called a blurb, and that's what we have here. So let's go take a look and see here. We have 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. So visually you can see, you can kind of make sense of, let's see, if I want to edit this piece of text, I can look and see, well, that's text. There's a picture next to it, and they're about half and half of the size here, and there's below it, there's a third, and a third. So if I go in here, and it's up near the top of the page, and so I go here and I look near the top of the page, I say, oh, there's the text and there's the image. That makes sense, and here's the third. Those are the blurbs. So that is a little bit of how you would determine what you would want to change. And let's say we wanted to change the text here somewhere, then we would go in here and learn in the first video. So this is a module. I can actually grab and move it around. This is a module, and this is an image module. And we always click on these buttons here, the module settings. It allows us to edit the content of it. This icon here is to clone it. If I click it, boom, it actually just duplicates it, which is a very handy tool, but we'll get to the benefit of that later. And this one over here is an X, and that is to remove the module. So I'm going to click X and delete it again. Duplicate and delete. So you just want to make sure you don't delete one that you've got your content in. But if you do, you'll be able to go up to revisions here, and you'll be able to get back to where you were. But you'll just remember, you go here to change the settings. So click there, and you can see here's the text that we're seeing on that home page. And if we wanted to change some text, then we go ahead and change that text. We'd hit save and edit, exit, and we'd hit the update button, and we would make our change. So again, we're learning a little bit about sections and columns and modules, because if you do have a place in your website that has a little bit more of a complex layout, then this will help you to figure out which one of these modules you want to edit. If it's an image module, then it won't have a place to type in text. It'll just say, what's the image URL? What's the image you want? And it'll allow you to upload the image. Takes you into the media library. It allows you to click upload files, and if you click there, select files, it'll allow you to find an image you want on your website. You can also just grab an image, if you're on a Mac at least, and from your desktop, and just drag it in here, and it'll say, oh, drop files to upload. Let's say I drop that picture in there. You can see it just uploads it, and then there we have it. And we could say set image, and now we've set that image instead of the other picture we had in there, and it was really that simple. We just clicked upload image. Now this image is a little bit small, probably doesn't fit there well. I'll keep this one here for our tutorial. I'll click set as image. We'll leave that one there. And even if we changed it and we didn't want it, we could hit the X and it wouldn't have changed it at all. So, as opposed to save changes. So again, here we have our text module, our image, and this is what a blurb looks like. We've got the words that show up underneath it, and we've got some different settings we can have. But over here we've picked an icon, this one right here, given it a color. And for the most part, the rest of the settings we left there, and you'll have a way to learn about all these different settings later. But I'm just sort of showing you how to find the module where you want to change your content when you have a little bit more of a complex layout than just one column. And a lot of times these settings are already pretty good where they are. So again, that was a blurb. Let's see what that blurb looked like. And here it is. Here were the words "we imagine," and here's the green colored icon of a light bulb right there. Because our videos are only going to be 10 minutes each, I'm going to follow this one up with another separate video and just stop here. All right, we'll follow up in the next one.